Odin, a 6-cost card. 8 power is fantastic. Tons of power coming out of Odin. And his ability, on reveal, activate the on reveal abilities of your other cards at this location. Hey everyone, it's ShadowDTV, and today we've got a special Marvel Snap video. There's tons of new players coming to Marvel Snap since global launch. And so I wanted to go through my top 12. And we're choosing 12 cards today because there's 12 cards in a Marvel Snap deck. And we're going to be going through the top Pool 1 cards. So this is just a short list of what I think are the top Pool 1 cards. Some of them are specific to certain decks, but a lot of them can be used in a range of decks. So these, I guess, they're not always going to be the most powerful depending on the deck and the situation, but I think they have the overall strongest power and abilities from the Pool 1 and starter cards. So let's get straight into the video. But before we do, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to ShadowDTV. Here we've got tons of deck profiles and strategy guides, as well as live streams coming. So definitely subscribe. We're almost at 600 subscribers. You guys smashed it out of the park, getting us to 500. So let's push for 600 this time. And guys, give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. Thank you so much, guys. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. All right, let's get into the list of the top 12 Pool 1 cards. So we're going to start from the lowest cost to the highest cost. So first up, I have Angela. Angela, when you play a card here, Angela gets +2 power. It's just good, guys. You can get Angela to 7 power by playing it first and then playing 3 other cards at Angela's location. And then when you've got abilities that move cards, you can play more there. So we can even get Angela up to 9 power. That's pretty amazing for a card that only costs 2 energy. Not too much else to say about Angela. You'll find Angela in a range of decks because she's just good, guys. She's a fantastic card. You're hard to find a new player that doesn't fall in love with Angela as a card. Next up, we have a 3-cost card, Ironheart. Now, Ironheart can be fooling with its 0 power, but on reveal, it gives 3 other friendly cards +2 power. So yes, although Ironheart is a 0-cost card itself, it's essentially giving +6 to the rest of your board, which is really powerful. And then we can duplicate this again with a card like Odin. So essentially, this 1 3-cost card is giving us 12 power. That's absolutely insane when you break it down like that. Ironheart again is in a ton of decks. It's great in on reveal decks to as you can reactivate its ability. Ironheart, fantastic card, some fantastic artwork as well. Next up, we have Bishop. Now, Bishop, when you play a card here, this gains +1 power. Yes, he is a 3-cost card and he only has the 1 power. But if you have a deck with a lot of 1-cost cards, a lot of cheap cost cards, or ways to cheat out other cards, especially once you start ranking up into the higher ranks, Bishop can become really, really good. But I think he's still fantastic in Pool 1 and Pool 2. You can get Bishop up to, numbers like 8, 9, 10. Similar to Angela, we can get to big numbers, but the great thing about Bishop is you don't need to play cards at the location. So we can actually play Bishop in, locations that get locked down by Storm. And, you just have a lone Bishop there getting buffs after every turn. And it can really put a lot of pressure on your opponent. So fantastic card, I think. Bishop is fantastic. Next up, we have Wolfsbane, another 3 energy card, only 1 power. You might see a bit of a pattern here that these cards with strong abilities have low power, but that's why they are so good, because if they gave them more power, they would be just way too broken. So Wolfsbane's next up. On reveal, Wolfsbane gets +2 power for each other card you have here. So if we have a full location, we've got 3 cards at a location, we play Wolfsbane as the final one, we're going to get +6 and the 1 power that Wolfsbane already has for a 7 power card. Now, it doesn't sound great when we look at things like Ironheart and Bishop and Angela, but Wolfsbane can also re-trigger its ability with things like Odin, and you double that, you're getting up above 10 power for a 3-cost card. Really, really fantastic. That's Wolfsbane. Now we're getting into the higher power the higher cost cards, but I mean they cost a lot because they're just good. Khazar is an ongoing ability, so not an on reveal. Our 1-cost cards have +1 power. This is a permanent ability during the match, during the game, and he's also 4 power himself, which is great. So if you're playing a aggressive deck with a lot of 1-cost cards, Khazar is fantastic. You can get pretty good numbers on the board and fill the board as well. Really good card early on in the game, and you'll find plenty of decks using Khazar later on in the game. Khazar's still being used in the higher pools, the higher ranks, and yeah, just a fantastic card to buff your 1-cost cards. Now, Iron Man, this fantastic artwork that we were given if you pre-registered on iOS for Marvel Snap. Loving this variant. Guys, ongoing, your total power is doubled at this location. A lot of people slept on this card when the game came out in beta. Then we just realized how strong it actually is. Locations that duplicate cards can make Iron Man go absolutely insane. I definitely consider using Iron Man, especially in the early parts of the game. If you're at a, pool 1 and pool 2, Iron Man is fantastic. He really shines in ongoing decks, but he can be used in a lot of other decks. I mean, doubling your power. If you get a location to 15 power, all of a sudden it's 30. Again, he's only got 0 power, so he doesn't look strong on the surface, but his ability is absolutely amazing. Next up, I've got White Tiger in here. White Tiger, again, is used in, in meta decks. Once you hit pool 3, we're still seeing White Tiger a ton. White Tiger is a 5-cost card, only the 1 power, but on reveal adds a 7-power Tiger to another location. Effectively, we're only getting 8 power out of White Tiger, which doesn't seem great when we're seeing these cheaper cost cards getting higher than 8 power, but we can sneak these Tigers into locations where cards can't be played anymore, which is really powerful. And we can re-trigger White Tiger with a card like Odin. Early on in the game, White Tiger I consider a very powerful card. It's not as strong as you unlock more cards, get higher ranks, but there are definitely some meta decks using White Tiger. Really great card in my opinion. Another 5-cost, Blue Marvel. You'll see a theme here. We're buffing our board. Blue Marvel is a 3-power, which is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good considering his ability is your other cards have +1 power. If you're playing a deck with Khazar with a lot of 1 cost, and then you play Blue Marvel on turn 5, all of those 1 cost cards are going to be getting +2 power, which is insane. It's pretty good. And then we've also got a 6-cost card that I'm going to show you in a moment. Onslaught, which you might know is going to buff all of these cards. Going to double up the ongoing, so we can get all of our 1-cost cards to 4 power, which is pretty cool. Blue Marvel used in a ton of decks as well in the meta. Spectrum is our first 6-cost card that we're looking at. On reveal, give all your ongoing cards +2 power. If you're playing a deck that's only got ongoing cards in it, or mostly ongoing cards, giving them all +2 power on the final turn, as well as a 5-power card, is pretty cool. And when we find ways to buff this and double this in the higher ranks, there's some cards in pool 3 that allow you to duplicate this ability. It can get pretty insane pretty fast. I definitely think Spectrum's great, but I still think Spectrum's great at the lower ranks if you're playing an ongoing deck, obviously. Not going to work if all your cards are on reveal. A bit different to things like Blue Marvel and Khazar, but there is no downside to Spectrum. It's not actually... you're getting +2 power. It's not just the 1. So yes, it's not targeting every card like Blue Marvel, but it is giving more power to the cards that it does target. Another 6-cost card, Onslaught. Now, Onslaught has 7 power, which is pretty good. It's a decent amount of power, especially considering his ability ongoing, double your other ongoing effects at this location. So if you play things like we've just showcased, we've got cards like Blue Marvel, Spectrum's on reveal actually, but we've got Blue Marvel, we've got Khazar, we've got Iron Man. Onslaught is going to double their abilities, which is absolutely crazy. Onslaught, again, is found in the higher ranks, and it's become a pattern here, but most of these cards, if not all, get plenty of play in the higher ranks. And if you have these cards from the start and they're still being played in 3 months' time when you're at collection level 3000, then you know that they're good cards. Next up, Odin, a 6-cost card. 8 power is fantastic. Tons of power coming out of Odin, and his ability on reveal, activate the on reveal abilities of your other cards at this location. So if we've got White Tiger at our location, if we've got Wolfsbane, if we've got Ironheart, and we play Odin, all of those abilities are going to happen again. Like, that is just absolutely crazy. Odin is, again, used in a ton of decks. On reveal decks are obviously Odin's specialty. I mean, just that combo. Ironheart turn 3, Wolfsbane turn 4, White Tiger, Odin. You're 100% winning that location, as well as getting 2 7-power Tigers at other locations. Boom. That's a win. That's a win right there. And finally, I struggled to figure out what card to put in this slot. Yes, Hulk is a 12-power card, which is fantastic, but he has no ability. So why would you run this card? In the early ranks, there's not a lot of high-powered cards at 6 cost. So Hulk is definitely very powerful in the early game, in the early lifespan of Marvel Snap, your early ranks, your early collection level. But in the later ranks, there's a lot of cards that can manipulate these 6-cost cards and get them out earlier. So Hulk definitely sees a little bit of play in the higher ranks. Probably not as much as the other cards we've gone through today. But I think Hulk is a great card that you get basically at the start of the game. So definitely be putting Hulk in your decks early on. Maybe as you rank up a bit, you'll realize that there's some better options to put in that slot. But I thought Hulk is a fine choice. And I maybe wanted to showcase the... for pre-registering for Marvel Snap, you would have got this skin. So Android got Hulk and iOS got Iron Man. I got both. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That is my top 12 Pool 1 cards. If you see any of these in a deck, you know that these cards are good. You know how to use them now. Yeah, I mean, if you see a deck with a lot of these cards, you can be confident that it's probably pretty good. And yeah, I mean, there's so many different abilities in Marvel Snap. So I thought I'd just pick out 12 that, you can get your head around these ones. When you see them, you know what they're doing and you know that they're quite powerful. Of course, there's tons of other powerful Pool 1 cards, but I thought, I'm not going to go through all of them. We'll keep the list short. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's our top 12. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got tons of Marvel Snap content like this, as well as deck profiles, live streams. We got it all here, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Guys, hit the thumbs up if this was helpful. And guys, if you're a new player, let me down in the comment section what your favorite Pool 1 card is, maybe even your favorite Pool 2 card, and let me know what you think of Marvel Snap. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.